Okay, guys, welcome back. Today, I want to cover a topic, and I've kind of touched on this before. And I said on this channel I was going to go into deeper detail into how to solve some of these problems that we're facing and that I've faced myself. So, the topic for today is don't let your issues snowball and spiral out of control. Yes, you do have control over them to an extent. Now, it doesn't mean you ignore the issues. It doesn't mean you ignore the problems. So, what I'm talking about is either A, financial issues, B, relationship issues. It could be a multitude of other things, right? But when these issues arise in our life, it can create either a positive or a negative snowball effect. Now, for the most part, probability wise, if you're facing a lot of problems right now, it is probably going to snowball negatively the more that you think about it. Now, it doesn't mean that you ignore the issue because the issue's there, right? If you have financial instability, if you're facing a lot of financial issues, if you're facing relationship issues, whether it's with your friends or a significant other, the problem is there. It exists. It doesn't mean that you ignore it. Now, what you have to be cognizant of is the fact that throughout the day, you are probably going to think about this maybe a dozen to 2 dozen times, maybe more. Okay? So it's going to be very hard to ignore the problem. But in order for you to make a stride in the right direction and create a positive snowball effect that allows you to solve this issue either quickly or gradually over time, you are going to have to address it. Okay? So that means if, for example, you have financial problems, you need to think about it, you do need to confront it, and you need to acknowledge the fact that it exists in your life. Okay? So here's what you can do. When you are running into these problems, when you're running into these issues, you need to make positive strides in the right direction and talk to the right people while simultaneously accepting that this problem exists. Okay? It doesn't mean that the problem is going to go away, but you have no choice. You have to face this. You have to face the consequence. You have to acknowledge that it's real and that it exists. It doesn't mean that you need to continuously dwell on it, though. If you dwell on the issue and it distracts you from finding an outcome that puts you in the positive snowball direction, right? Where you start creating strides in the positive direction, then it's not going to help. So you actively have to trick your brain, at least momentarily, every single time that you think about this during the day. And it could be just for 5 or 10 seconds, okay? So if it's a financial issue, if it's a relationship issue, if it's with a significant other, if it's with a friend, think about the problem, accept that it exists for about 5 to 10 seconds. Put it in the back of your brain, and you need to refocus on what it is that you can do to solve that issue. In the short term, medium, or long term. Okay? Acknowledge that it exists. Don't ignore it. Don't pretend like the problem isn't there. Okay? A lot of us are facing these issues right now, especially in 2024. Okay? And it can get better, but only if you acknowledge the issue. Now, what you have to do is you have to approach the right people. You have to be present when you're there speaking with these people and when they're trying to provide you with solutions. Do not get distracted when something negative pops into your mind. Don't let it create that anxiety effect that makes it so that you can't focus on the solution. It's easy to say that, right? Especially me sitting in this chair. But I've been there. The reason that I say this and that you should only focus on it for 5 seconds and not for 10 to 15 minutes, and the reason why you need to actively trick your brain into doing that is because that's the way that I got past that problem. It doesn't mean that it creates an immediate solution. It's probably not going to. But what it will do is stop the amount of time that you're wasting dwelling on this that you could be spending trying to solve that issue. You'd probably be surprised if you actively think about it for one day. If you're currently facing an issue, if you're currently facing a problem in your life, actively think about how much time, and you will actually have to dig a little bit deep, and you will have to keep track of this for one day. Think about how much time you're actually wasting thinking about the negative things that are happening in your life. and how much that time could be reinvested into solving that problem. It's so easy to say that, right? But do that. Actively do that for one day, okay? I'm giving you permission to dwell on something negative in your life for one whole day, right? Just acknowledging how many dozens of times per day and how long that lasts each time that happens, where you think about that negative thing that's happening. And then the very next day, after 24 hours have passed, do the 5-second rule, where you only spend 5 seconds thinking about that negative thing. Move forward right after that, immediately. Completely discount it out of your head, while also simultaneously knowing in the back of your mind that that problem does still exist. That's the easiest way that you're going to get past this issue, whatever it is that you're facing, okay? So try it, give it a shot. It worked for me, and I think it's something that can help point you in the right direction and create a positive snowball effect in your life instead of a negative one. It will probably take weeks or months of you doing this actively every single day if it's something that you continuously dwell on. But you have to start somewhere. And you can't solve these issues all at once by continuously dwelling on that problem. So give it a shot, guys. Let me know how it goes. Bye.